Hello, welcome. My name is Christoph Kletzer and I'm welcoming you to this program Coding for Lawyers. I'm quite excited to be able to do that because I believe it's a great opportunity for you to get some coding literacy. So I know I don't need to convince you because you're already on the program, so you have an understanding and an idea why it will benefit you to learn to code, to get some coding literacy. But let me use this short video to give you just a very brief summary of why we believe coding for lawyers is the thing and why you should do that. I mean, the first question obviously is why would a lawyer want to code? Isn't coding and lawyering on the other end of the spectrum, of the intellectual spectrum? It seems lawyering has to do with real life applications, words, courts, judgments, contracts, and coding is just writing stuff on computers. But actually, if you look at it deeply, you'll find out that the skills required for coding and for lawyering are quite similar. I mean, both coders and lawyers have a problem-oriented mindset. Both use the language in a very specific technical sense. Little differences in terms make a huge difference for the outcome. If you write a contract or if you write code, you have to think ahead of what each word, what each phrase, what each comma even might mean in the end. Similarly, if you look at legislation, you'll see that very often legislation is set up in a similar way to programming code, to object-oriented programming code. You have certain definitions at the beginning, you might have certain functions defined at the beginning, and then a nicely written code makes reference to those definitions, just as a contract does, or just as a statute does. So the skills and the way to think about the world and specific issues is rather similar, both for lawyers and for coders. So there isn't much of a hurdle. The only thing you need to do is to bring lawyers and coders closer together, and you will see there will be a lot of synergies. But apart from the fact that it's not going to be that hard for lawyers to learn how to code, there is of course also a huge added benefit to learning how to code. Why is that? Well, for a variety of reasons. The first, of course, is that a modern lawyer needs to understand its client. If you work as a solicitor or if you practice law in a law firm, you will have to understand your client. And your clients are going to be increasingly dealing with technological issues. Most of the unicorns in the United Kingdom, Europe, and the United States have something to do with the digital world, with software, with programming, artificial intelligence, the blockchain, machine learning, or something along the lines. So if you want to understand your client, you have to understand a bit of their product, a bit how they're operating. So being code literate, knowing what these terms mean, not just by having read about them, but by having actually sitting behind a terminal and trying it out and seeing success immediately is of incredible value. It will make you much more confident in your daily dealings with anything digital. But apart from the substance matter of what your clients are doing, or if you become a judge of what the plaintiffs might be doing, or if you become a policymaker or a journalist, or whatever your legal profession allows you to do, a deep understanding, not such the superficial knowledge of some buzzwords, but a deep understanding of the mechanics of what coding actually is, of what goes into all these applications, will give you a massive advantage. And that's, I think, why you're here. That's why you've embarked on this program. But much more than that, you will see that in the legal professions themselves, you see a shift. Many of the tasks that have been done by lawyers will be done by machines, will be done by artificial intelligence or machine learning algorithms, by language programs, and so on and so forth. So understanding how these work, how machine learning actually works. Understanding how big data works, how to deal with data, will be of immense benefit for you, even if your clients were not in any way related to the digital world or computing or coding or whatsoever. So the legal profession itself will change. I mean, the only thing that's certain is that things will not remain as they are. So legal tech is, as we know, a big thing. We were still waiting for the whole thing to take off completely. But whether it's going to take off exponentially or just gradually, it will certainly be an important tool, and having a bit of a deeper understanding rather than just being able to input the data on the user interface, but having a bit of understanding what's actually happening underneath the hood will be helpful, no question. So we see how in the legal profession, how understanding your clients, how all these things will require some understanding of coding, of programming, of what's actually going on in these applications, and being able to program them will allow you to feel much more confident. You'll see the first time and the first coding challenges you're going through, you will immediately sense how easy it is actually. And Codecademy is the perfect platform to do that. And here we at King's College will input that with examples, with legal context, and we will curate it for you in a way that you will feel confident in talking about issues that you might not have been very confident to talk about at all before that. So thanks for listening, and all the best to you, and by all means, have fun.